Welcome to Debt Decoded on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Now, here's your host, Mike Delmonico.
Hello and welcome to Debt Decoded. This is Mike Delmonico, joined by Marshall Gilliam. Marshall, how you doing today?
Good, Mike. How are you?
Great. Marshall, I want to talk about a couple that I met from the radio. And very, very nice couple in their mid-50s. You know, they have a couple of adult children that they've incurred some college debt, and they have a mortgage, truck payment. And the thing that I want to bring up about how we help people find the money is this quick story on this. Based upon what they were telling me, well, we can't find, any extra money. And I just had a conversation with them about where money is going and so forth, and they're not changing their lifestyle. They're doing the same thing. They're not cutting anything out. They're just reallocating the current funds that they currently use, okay?
Yep.
Now, he makes about $50,000 or $60,000 a year, and the wife makes about $80,000 or so, I think it was. We were able to, through just a simple conversation, we were able to find $800 a month. $800 a month. And I first developed that conversation by asking them how much they make per hour. And basically, I said, okay, you know what? I don't care what you make per hour, but let's make it really, really simple. Can you set aside $15 a day, Monday through Friday, each of you? $15 a day, Marshall. Obviously, that's $30 between the two of them, okay? That's $600 for the month. Just that.
Got it.
Okay. $7,200 a year. We went through a few more things. Bottom line, Marshall, is, now again, this is a couple, very, very nice couple, and, they need a plan. They needed somebody to coach them through this. I get a call. They're going to put $800 a month towards their plan, and they're going to be out of debt in 8.2 years, including their mortgage. So they went from not knowing how they're going to pay what they had to pay to finding out that they're going to get out of debt in a little more than 8 years with the same cash flow that they have. And that's how you and I help these people that we work with. And I just wanted to bring that up because I'm sure that there's a lot of people listening that are in their 40s and 50s, early 60s. I have clients that are in their early 70s that are in the program and having great success and giving them a solution. We deal with couples and individuals with this plan on a home basis, let's say, meaning mortgage and car and credit card and college loans and so forth. But we also, as you well know, help business owners manage their cash flow and expenses and their debt service. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because I know that you've had some great success helping business owners.
Well, it's a good story for those people. I mean, we see it all the time. We see people go from I don't have any money, I don't have any extra, to, $800 a month. That's $9,600 a year. That's almost $10,000 a year.
Almost $10,000 a year that they're able to allocate to this program. And
that they didn't think they had.
And it's not going to affect their lifestyle.
Yeah, didn't. And that's a key point. That's where we've, bragged on ourselves a little bit. That's where we've gotten pretty good at being able to find money because you're just not trained that way. I mean, as a society, I don't like to use the term brainwashed, but for lack of a better word, into, when our check comes in that we've worked hard for, we got to pay that bill, we got to pay those credit cards, we got to, pay this, we got to pay that. Taxes are typically taken out unless you're a business owner. So I'm talking about after you get your check, after all that stuff is taken out. Yeah, and then the last thing we do is take care of ourselves.
Well,
Or take care of our future. So it's like, okay, when everything else is said and done, and all of, the MasterCard, the Visa, the American Express, the furniture bill, the car note, when all that's done, then I'm going to save some money. And many, many times there's nothing left, or it's fluctuating, it's not structured. And what you're able to do with these folks is show them that they're still going to be able to make all those payments, still going to be able to do that, still going to pay their debts, but that saving plan is going to start day one when they put that first $800 in the plan. And when they're done paying off their debt, all those $800 will still be in there, but it's going to gain interest over 8 years. And the same $800 next month will be the same way. And the next $800 will be the same way. You don't have to delay savings to get out of debt quicker. And that's the key for your family bank, is you don't delay your savings to get out of debt quicker. And a business owner can do the same way.
well, and
They pay all their bills, they pay their employees, which you got to pay, but they pay all that stuff. And then many times they don't even get to pay themselves.
right. I've had many business owners tell me, I didn't even take a paycheck. Had to do this, had to do that. I didn't even take a paycheck. I don't know how that happens, but let's get on that point about, number one, paying yourself first rather than always paying yourself last. With this program,
in a business too.
right, with this program, you're actually saving at the same time that you are getting out of debt, okay? And Marshall, I just got the wrap-up signal. We're really getting into the conversation, but got to get the wrap-up signal from Ted, the producer. We'll be right back with Debt Decoded. Follow this great conversation on the other side of the break. Debt Decoded, this is Mike Delmonico with Marshall Gilliam, 508-278-7488.
Now, Debt Decoded continues on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Once again, here's your host, Mike Delmonico.
Welcome back. This is Debt Decoded with Mike Delmonico and Marshall Gilliam. Marshall, at the break, we were talking about business owners and paying ourselves last. The business owner takes on all the responsibility of hiring, training employees, buying the materials for the jobs. Sometimes he's paying for health insurance. Sometimes he's contributing to a 401k plan for the employees. They have to buy and maintain vehicles for the company. They're either paying mortgage on the building that they run the business out of, or they're paying rent to the property owner to run the business out of. So there's massive expenses to run a business. I was just talking to long time friends of mine from childhood. They run a very, very successful lawn care company. And their expenses with fertilizer and fuel, insurance, pesticides, seed, all that. Just talking to them yesterday, it's about $1 million. $1 million of expenses to run this lawn care company and landscaping company. To me, that's a lot of expenses. I was talking to a business owner that owns it's a very successful regional window company up this way, Marshall. They spend over $1 million a year just on advertising. How's that for an advertising budget? To be able to, and right now, talking to a business owner, it's very powerful, as you and I have witnessed, where we can teach a business owner how to use his receivables, that cash flow coming in, to use that 2, 3, and 4 times rather than just once, and recovering a lot of that expense that he sends out. Want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I couldn't say it better. You said it, or you emphasized it, using that same cash flow 2, 3, 4 times. Again, just like we talk about on the personal side, where you're able to, start saving right away, use the account to pay debts back quicker, more efficiently, while not delaying savings. In a business, the cash flow is king. I mean, there's a lot of successful businesses, great products, just a lot of great things, but cash flow kills them for whatever reason. Delays, cash flows. To be able to manage your cash flow without risk, so you don't have to affect your day-to-day operation of your business by cash flow, by being able to reuse it. Because once you transfer money from your normal business checking account into one of these accounts, that money becomes able to use it more than one time, and sometimes at the same time more than once. And, it's a way to help pay for expenses more efficiently, to pay off debt more efficiently. You can actually recover cost of expenses. So in this case, if they were spending $1 million a year over, let's just say 5 years, that's, $5 million. But let's say that through this plan, we were able to recover or use the same cash flow more than once, enough to where we could save them $250,000 a year by being able to use it more than once. Over 5 years, that's $1 million. And as a business owner, well, it's actually more than that. It's $1.25 million over 5 years. As a business owner, and that's your business, that goes to you. That's in your pocket eventually, or being able to grow and expand your business, or pay your employees more, or a lot of different things.
Marshall, can you? And I don't mean to interrupt you, but a lot of people listening, they're driving, or they're not able to take notes while they're driving, obviously. But can you that's such a great point for the business owner. Can you please just go over that again and kind of repeat that, if you don't mind? How the business owner.
Not at all. I mean,
it needs to be heard more than once. It's that worth it,
It's where, like I say, a business owners, it's just, let's don't use $1 million a year. Let's just say, okay, in a business, $100,000 a year expenses, it's not a lot. You're talking fuel costs, debt service, a lot. Just say $100,000. And through the plan, when we say we're able to use it more than once, $1, sometimes at the same time, you're able to recover some of your expenses because of the way the money works and grows in the plan while you're able to access it. But let's just say over that $100,000, we can't recover all of it. But let's say we can recover 25% of it. And let's, say a 10-year window. That's $250,000 that you've been able to recover, keep in your pocket, not spend. And that's kind of the way it works. It's money you don't have to spend because you're able to leverage the same dollar more than once. Over 10 years, it's $250,000. And as a business owner, that's your money. That's money that is in your business. You didn't have to spend and pay out. That could go into your pocket. Imagine giving yourself a $25,000 a year raise, take home. And as you're looking to exit your business one day, that's a big chunk. That accelerates that. And it can even be more. In that case, your business, $1 million a year, $250,000 a year over 10 years is $2.5 million you wouldn't have had to spend out of your pocket. That goes back into your business, into you as a business owner. It's a very, very powerful way to leverage dollars to make your business run a lot better.
And the whole thing about running the program, it's a fixed operating cost for the business owner. He knows his cost year in and year out. And the money keeps compounding on a very tax-efficient basis. This is when a business owner, the ones that I've dealt with, Marshall, and that we've helped together, when they see how this program works and they get it and they understand it, and their accountants have seen it, the only question they ask us is, how much can we put in this, right?
Yeah, typically that's it, yeah.
And because they're able to see that they have access to it, that it's safe, that it's accessible to them, they can use it over and over again. There's their own schedule. It's an unscheduled repayment plan to use that money again, and it's just tremendous how it can help a business owner. I have a friend I'm working with right now, Marshall. He has probably $200,000 to $250,000 of loans on business equipment, front end loaders, backhoes, some heavy equipment, and he's going to be out of debt in about 5.3 years. Actually, a little less than that. I think it's about 4.7. And you might say, well, yeah, the loan is going to be 4.7 or 5 years. Why don't I just pay the loan, and that's it? So the bottom line is they wouldn't have any cash at the end of that program. With us, they do. We got to wrap up, Marshall, for this segment. We'll be right back. This is Mike Delmonico on WCRN, AM 830.
Now, Debt Decoded continues on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Once again, here's your host, Mike Delmonico.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Mike Delmonico with Marshall Gilliam. Marshall, we were talking at the break, before the break, on the business owner. The reason why for the business owner or anybody else to pay down the debt with our program is that they're saving at the same time. You might say, well, I'm going to be out of this. I'll be out of the debt in, 4 years, 5 years with the business equipment. Okay. Number one, you don't have any cash available to you at the end of that 5 years. Your equipment has been depreciating. Now you got to buy new equipment, and you got to come up with new money. With our program, you can use the money in your account to buy new equipment cash, because you'll have enough in there to buy new equipment. That's the difference. And you use it over and over again. So any contractor out there that has equipment, vans, trucks, whatever it might be, we can help you retain more of your earnings and to run your business even more efficiently than you might already be doing. Marshall, what are some other business expenses that one could take care of with the plan?
Well, just talk about a little, unpack what you said a little bit about, equipment. Business by vans, trucks, not just heavy equipment, but service trucks.
Right.
And being able to have access to cash is huge. And, if you go into, you need 2 new vehicles, and you go to the bank, you got to explain why, you got to provide tax return, you got to do this, you got to do that. But what if you could just make a phone call and fax in a form and get it in 24 hours in your account?
Right.
And then you can take that money and go to the dealer and say, I need 2 vans, and I'm paying cash. The amount of money you'll save by doing that is literally amazing. Cash talks. You get a great deal on any kind of, you walk in, you pay cash for it. It's way off what you would pay if you went in and tried to finance it. And number one, now you've saved money. Now you're paying interest back to yourself. And then 2, you're not losing interest by paying interest to the dealer or the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Plus you saved on the price overall. You almost, you save on either side of the zero, what I call the zero line, where, if you're under the zero line, you're paying somebody extra money, you're paying somebody interest, and above it, you're paying interest back to yourself and saving money. You're almost getting it on either side of the line. It's like
right.
The difference in -2 and +2 is not just 2, it's 4.
Exactly.
Because you got to go -2 to 0 and 0 to 2, back old day fractions and negative, positive numbers. But yeah, being able to do that, we had one client that he was able to save, since he was able to pay net 30 instead of, net 60 or 90 on inventory, he's able to buy extra inventory and save a percentage, 2 to 3% off his inventory costs each time he made an inventory purchase, because he was able to do it through cash and then, pay it back when his cash flow came in through his business. That's a great way to do it. There's.
Let me ask you this.
Fuel.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about fuel for a second.
Well, we've seen people do fuel where they were able to buy it in bulk ahead of time and pay up front, at the, I guess the dealer, and say, hey, what if I could, pay 3 months of fuel in advance?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of $10,000 I normally pay each month for it, kind of on average, what if I could pay you, $9,500 times 3 months right now? That guy would probably take it.
Yeah, sure.
Plus, again, you're earning it on the other side too. But it just gives you a ton of options. It really puts you in control. we've even got people that have vendors that have trouble with cash flow themselves, and they're able to actually help them out.
Right.
And be the bank for those guys.
Marshall, let me ask you this, and those are some great points. Before I miss this thought, I don't want to miss talking about this in the segment. You're down in you're about an hour south of Nashville, Tennessee?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm up here in Massachusetts. There's a lot, I don't know about down there, but I know a lot of people up here that go in and they'll flip houses. Okay. They all TV shows about it and flipping houses and so forth. And is it pretty popular down there?
It is. Real estate's a great way to use it for sure. Yeah, it is.
And the reason why I bring that up is one of my very best clients, he owns a heating and AC business, okay? Does very, very well. But just 2 years ago, he started flipping houses and has done very, very well. And guess what he does to get his own funding to buy a home? He has used our process and leveraged his own funds, doesn't go to the bank anymore. We built a program for him that he just leverages his own money. It continues to work for him. He'll buy a home, fix it up, sell it for a profit, pay back the loan to the company. In a little more than 2 years, he has over $400,000 of funds available to him that he continues to buy properties after property to keep that house flipping business going and profitable for him. He doesn't have to go to the bank. He's his own financing. So it works out great for him. So anybody out there that's listening that does house flipping, this is a phenomenal program for you to utilize. Have you seen that example at all, Marshall?
Yeah, because one of the great things by doing that is when you go do it at the bank, or you do it from your IRA or whatever it may be, you're paying interest to the bank, or you're losing money in your IRA for having it out of circulation. Let's just say what typically do, they go to the bank and they get, that's why you see on these TV shows, they don't talk about this because it's all fun and positive, but that's why they go, we got to sell this house, we only got a week left, we got to get it finished and sold, because that loan that they took is getting ready to turn in from a construction to traditional, which is going to be extra cost, extra interest, and they're going to lose money. They're not going to lose money overall, but they'll lose what they could have.
Marshall, we're up against the break. You can reach us at 508-278-7488. This is Mike Delmonico with my good friend Marshall Gilliam on Debt Decoded, WCRN, AM 830.
Now, Debt Decoded continues on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Once again, here's your host, Mike Delmonico.
Welcome back. This is Mike Delmonico, joined by my good friend Marshall Gilliam. Marshall, we were just talking about house flipping and how clients that flip homes have been successful using the program. I interrupted you to go to the break as I was getting the hurry up sign. But go back to what you were saying before we had to close out that segment, please.
Yeah, we were talking about someone say flipping a house, and on the shows, you mentioned the TV shows, and we watch them. I love watching out in California and places where it's so expensive, and up north versus here. And you see them have a deadline. We got to get this finished. We got to get this finished. We got to get it sold. And they try and do an open house. And many times they have to drop their price and just because what's getting ready to happen is whatever loan they've got is getting ready to convert.
Right.
It's going to convert with cost. And they're going to incur losses to their bottom line that they could have earned. But through this plan, a lot of people use it to do that. And since you're the bank, you don't have a deadline. You decide you pay it back when you get done, when you sell your property. You don't have to, be in a hurry to sell it in a week or in a day and drop your price and be weak at the negotiating table. It's not going to cost you any extra. We've even got plans, Mike, that that imagine this: you can take money for 90 days to use it to do something like this with zero interest.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
As long as you pay it back within 90 days.
Right.
And then if you pay it back within 90 days, it still doesn't kill you like a traditional loan. You just start your normal interest rate, which is lower than you can probably get at a bank. Imagine that. Imagine that. And the whole time that money, let's say you borrowed $100,000 to do this property with, your $100,000 is still earning interest the entire time you're using the company's $100,000 to make your project work at 0% interest.
Yeah, and I want to repeat that for a second. So for those people that are listening, hear this, and it's worth repeating. Your money, even though you are using it for a project or paying down debt, your money continues to earn interest for you, and it keeps compounding, okay? And while it's compounding, it's not being taxed either. Marshall, we have clients that are putting into this program $200,000 and $300,000 a year, and we have clients that are putting in $5,000 and $6,000 a year, or $3,600 a year, $300 a month. I have a client that's putting in $300 a month, $15 a day, Monday through Friday, $300 a month. They're going to be out of debt in about 8.9 years. They're going to be out of debt. They have credit cards, they have car payment, they got a student loan. They're going to be out of debt in 8.9 years. And it's just because we have a successful system that is predictable right to the month. All they have to do is follow the system. In their report, it shows them when they're going to pay a certain debt off, then another one, and it tells them to the month and what that payoff is going to be. And what we're doing is we're using the interest rates and the payments that they are paying on that debt. That's why it is very, very predictable. So, Marshall, can you just imagine we're able to help somebody with, let's say, $4,000 a month debt, and they're, say, 40 years of age, okay? Now we turn that debt after 9 years into savings, all of it going to savings, okay? They've been putting the money in and leveraging it, so that built up, but now all that money is just going into savings. That's tremendous. You can't do that, if you don't see the system.
Yeah, put it this way. And we've talked a lot about saving, not paying other people interest today. If you leave today's show and you don't get anything else but this, you'll always do better. You'll always earn more by limiting what you give away unnecessarily,
right,
than any interest you'll ever earn in a traditional type investment.
Right.
You'll always come out better.
That's a phenomenal point. And here's the other thing. I'll say this to a client. I'll say this to somebody new sitting in front of me. Can you imagine if you can take stock market losses away, minimize your taxes, and minimize or eliminate the interest you pay out to others? Think of the money that you could keep. For every $100 we earn or we take in, what is it, about 34%, Marshall, goes to interest that we pay out to others.
Yep, interest and debt.
Interest and debt. So let's just say we take in, and I'm only saying this for simple math, okay? We take in $100,000. We got to pay tax on that $100,000, and $34,000 is going to debt, right? So we're left, the rest of that, we're left with entertainment and savings.
Yeah.
What we do is we wipe out that $34,000, get you to a point where you can wipe out that 34% that you're paying out to others. And you control that money, and you keep that money. That's why this is so important, and why we are so eager to help you get to that point where you can breathe again, where you're not being crushed by debt, and have a systematic plan that you can use to help you and your spouse and your family eliminate your debt, enjoy a retirement that is secure and predictable. I really want to stress that home to the folks listening, Marshall, of how predictable it is.
And again, that goes back to the statement, when you're saving money and you're not having to pay it out as a business owner, as an individual. If I'm saving that business owner $25,000 a year that he would be having to pay out,
right,
there is no interest rate, market fluctuation, any risk. That is guaranteed money in your pocket that you didn't have to spend.
Exactly.
Okay? So you didn't have to put any at risk. You didn't have to take it out of circulation. So there's no way to even punch it into a calculator to tell you what the return is, because you're just almost creating $25,000 out of thin air that you wouldn't have had before. Right.
Marshall, this was a great segment we had today. Thank you so much for your time. Ted and Pat have both given me the wrap-up signal. They must have a busy day ahead. And again, thank you so much for your time and your expertise in this area. If anybody is listening that has debt, we can help you as long as you have some positive cash flow. And it doesn't have to be a big amount, okay? If you're stressed out about debt, we can help you. Get you on a plan that will get you out of debt based on your numbers in typically 9 years or less. So everybody have a great weekend. This is Mike Delmonico with Marshall Gilliam on Debt Decoded on WCRN, Full Service Radio, AM 830. Have a great day.
This has been Debt Decoded with Mike Delmonico on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN.